Welcome to my April Fool's Day video. However, this is going to be a serious video, not a joking one. I confess I may have a bit of a problem with making April Fool's Day videos. They tend to be rather prophetic. You see, in 2023 I predicted age down kits and now we have them. In 2024, I predicted defense boosts in Guild Battlegrounds, and we got those too. And last year in 2025, I mentioned the declining benefits of the arc in the game, and the great building update seems to potentially be accelerating that. With that in mind, this year, I've decided that I'm not going to make a joke video about the game, and instead will mention an issue that is truly important, with the hope that my amazingly predictive abilities will cause it to be fixed. That issue, of course, can be nothing other than the current largest problem in the game: finished special production items. These items are absolutely broken, and I don't see any way that their function can realistically be allowed to continue as is in the game. As such, and I will say this up front, I think these items need to be taken out of the game or taken back to the drawing board, and I'll explain exactly how it can be done. Let's start with the problem. To show you the issue, I've placed a 3D printer in my city, which is a production building from the Tomorrow era. Probably not what you were expecting, but stick with me here. Choosing the 4-hour production, then grabbing a finished special production item to use on the 3D printer causes something strange to happen. The item just disappears from the game, and I'm not sure where it went. Maybe if I zoom out a bit? Oh, there it is. That's right, folks, this isn't actually a video about the issues with finished special production items. Although, if you want me to make a video about that, let me know. No, this video is to show you how I made one in real life and how you can make one too if you want. It does fully function as a display piece, and you are able to pose it however you wish. You can even flip the hourglass such that it works as a timer, which is something that the game version wouldn't be able to do. The one thing you cannot do with it is to use it to instantly finish timers. Sorry, I just haven't cracked that secret yet. Maybe next year. To make your own, all you need is a 3D printer, some filament, and about $7. For the hourglass, I grabbed a cheap, allegedly 10-minute hourglass off of Amazon for like $7. I'll have it linked in the description without any of that tracking URL or affiliate crap. It comes in a wooden cage, but with a little bit of magic called a handsaw, you can free it to use as the core of this build. Then you'll need to 3D print the various pieces of the item. I used a Bambu Lab A1 with the layer height set to 0.08mm and used a dark gray filament for it. I'll have the files on my website linked in the description. Once everything is printed, it assembles from the inside out. First, grab a cap, one of the pointy ones with a circle indent on the inside. Place it on the hourglass and then place the pointy end in the indent on the inner gear. Grab the second cap and carefully squeeze the inner ring to allow the caps to both sit in their respective grooves. It is a bit of a tight fit, so be careful. Then take the outer gear and place the U-shaped pieces with the gap towards the outside. Grab one of the cones, these are the slightly rounded ones with the rectangular hole on the bottom. It then clips onto the tabs at the end of the U, holding it in place. Do this for the second U-shaped piece and cone. Space those U-shaped pieces about 180 degrees apart. Find the points on the outside of the inner gear and slot those into the indents on the inner side of the U's. Once done, check that the whole inner gear assembly can rotate freely. You may have to nudge the U-shaped pieces to get it perfectly centered. Then slot the peg on the outer gear into the base. This is the one attachment where I might suggest using a little bit of glue to hold it. And there you go. The whole thing is assembled, and you can adjust the rotation of the hourglass and the inner ring as you see fit. There are some additional accessories in the form of the gold star and the green arrow that the item has in-game. The printing and assembling of the arrow is pretty straightforward. Glue the arrow to the stick, put the cross piece on the stick, and then slot it into the base. It's a tight fit, so you probably don't need to use any glue on the base. For the star, I didn't have gold filament, so I just printed it in white and painted it by hand in gold, and then assembled as you would expect with the star onto the backing star and then that into the stand. Simply place the hourglass assembly, green arrow, and star on your shelf, and there you have it. One finished special production item removed from the game. Of course, all the print files, both the sliced 3MF and the step files, will be linked in the description if you want to make one yourself. Are there other items I should try to make? Let me know. And lastly, real talk. While this is an April Fool's Day video, I do think Inno needs to pay the piper on finished special production items. It's clear more and more every day in game that these items provide incredible amounts of power for how many of them Inno throws around on building productions or other rewards. Each one essentially represents the production of whatever the current strongest possible building in the game is. They only ever increase in value, and that snowball continues to roll as we get better and better buildings. Anyways, I'll get off of my soapbox now. Happy April Fool's Day, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Just kidding, the video is not done yet. If you watch this far, you're probably a nerd like me, so I just wanted to talk briefly about the design of the item in game. You see, if you look in game, none of the finished special or finished goods items would actually work as hourglasses. The way the rings are attached together, the hourglass can only spin along its central axis, with no ability to flip it over to reset the sand. For that to be the case, you need a pivot perpendicular to the central axis. Ultimately, I decided to add that in kind of a clunky way, which is the ability of the pointy bits on the end to slide around the outer ring, but I wanted to keep the model as accurate to the in-game version as possible. I suppose you could make the argument that the version in-game could maybe do that too, but it really doesn't look like it was designed for that intent. That's all for this video. Goodbye.